We are Flake, Rose, and Spears, and we are supremely black. How y'all doing this week, fellas?
Doing okay. Okay. I say it's doing okay. Still a little depressed from all the messes going on with the police brutality. Uh, but on a good note, uh, my daughter purchased her first car all herself. So I'm very very proud of her. She been grinding throughout this whole COVID process real hard. So I can't even be mad at her, man. She been straight hustling and whereas as some people who listened to last episode, I didn't finish that episode because a truck had broke down on the interstate, so I had to go. So I'm sitting there like, well, she had already told me she wanted another car, but I didn't know exactly how much money she had saved up. I'm like, bet we need to go get another car. And man, we spent all day Saturday looking, and man, she broke that debit card out, swiped it, and bought her own car, just like that. I was so happy, so proud of her that I know she had been hustling and grinding, but I know she had been doing it that hard. So I'm so proud of her for doing that and getting her a nice car and out here rolling on four wheels and doing what kids should do when they stay at home, saving up money for the stuff that they need, and out here just blowing it on parties and trying to get Gucci bags and whatever else to be going on. So they got me being a proud father this week. So I'm very happy.
And that's what's up. Shout out to Lil Cuz Kyle, you handling her business. What kind of car did she get?
She got a 2014 Optima, Kia Optima.
Okay. That's what's
Yeah.
up, man. And she had,
Look,
say what?
Look, she was trying to get her Audi at first. I was like,
Yeah.
I said, we
Yeah.
not.
Gotta grind a little bit harder for that one. That
Man, we actually found one with low miles that she could afford, but I was like, yeah, you
that
can afford
maintenance.
this, but that maintenance you ain't gonna be able to afford.
Yeah, she gon' I know she grinding. I'm not gonna say she has limits. I know she can get to it, but that's gonna turn on a different skin.
Bruh.
Tell her for a gas pump about 3,500. She gonna be like, whoa, yeah,
Right.
that's
That's
y'all.
what I
She
told her.
paid,
So you just gonna have 700-800 laying around, something go wrong to get it fixed.
yeah,
Uh
all the time, and
I'm just giving you the average. I'm not
yeah,
even
that's light.
could be more than that.
Yeah, that's
Right.
light. Yeah, that's light. That's what she gonna be paying to get one of them parts shipped to America. But
Right.
yeah, but this D-Rose, man, it's been a cool week. Just really ready, honestly, to get this half out the way Sunday so I can get my life back a little bit. I ain't gotta worry about running so much. I can get back to, lifting and cutting. But outside that, it's been a pretty chill week, man. Just, waiting on some things that I've spoken to existence. So we're gonna let them marinate and we'll speak about it when it's time to pop champagne for the wins. But outside of that, everybody's here, everybody's blessed. I can't stress. What about you, Spirit?
My week been good. Yeah, my week been good. Had a little drama, but other than that, my week been good. Ain't too much stuff going on. Just grinding and working. Completed the website for the nonprofit, so did that, took care of that. Other than that, that's really about it. So I just been grinding, chilling, trying to get stuff in order. And congratulations, Flake. I know you said your week been okay, but shit, that should be something that make your week better than okay when your baby girl do something that and she don't even need daddy assistance. You don't got to pull
Hey
out
man.
your pocketbook and your checkbook or your debit card or nothing. So uh, yeah, that's something to be proud of. And shout out to the queen uh, for taking care of business and doing what she doing. But salute to you, Black King, for uh, raising your child the right way and being present and doing things that you could say I ain't that bad. I ain't doing too bad.
Hey man,
But
it
I'm
sure
on.
do make you feel that way.
Yeah.
It sure make you feel the way like that. Hey, I guess I ain't did too bad. She always quick to be hollering about something. I could be out here starving and gang banging. I feel like you don't get off
Hey,
somewhere.
you remember when I used to tell you that shit? That is true. Like, you could be real out here. Hey, hey.
but But to hear her say it, like, play, you ain't got no.
Very, very far from that, but it sounds cool.
Right. It sounds good. You very far from that. But this week I want to discuss. We're gonna keep it a little light this week, man. Um, oh man, that heavy stuff it is tiring and wearing down. We're gonna keep it light, and this could turn into being heavy
Uh, it
from the
depends on who
female
it is.
from the
Depends on-
female perspective. But I want to bring to the attention of interracial dating. What are you guys' thoughts on it? As we know, black men get a bad rap for doing it. As you notice, as these commercials that come, I think if you go through the time of commercials, the first interracial couple I seen on a commercial, I think was a Cheerios commercial. And you only had like one or two commercials that was out there like that. And then all of a sudden now it's like every commercial that has anything to do with family is gonna be an interracial couple. And now ain't nothing wrong with that. First of all, let's put that out there. Ain't nothing wrong for that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I ain't got nothing against it, but it's just something that you start noticing when people start pushing a certain agenda. Okay. So my first question to you guys is, what is your thought on interracial dating? As far as it could be anybody, black men, white women. Well, let me say that. We'll just go with that because that's mainly the top of the list. Nobody really cares if there's a black man and a Spanish girl, but the black man, white man, or I mean, black man, white woman, or white woman, white man, black woman, seems to garner all the attention. So, but it don't matter the race. But we'll just talk about interracial dating in general. We start off with what do you guys think about interracial dating and how your feelings on it?
Now, growing up, I was more likely to entertain it just due to growing up in a small city where pretty much everybody, either your cousin or your homeboy, was talking to them. So that kind of gave you a little bit more of a variety. So I'm not going to be faking act as if that I've never entertained a couple white girls back in my day. But as I've gotten older and just kind of really realizing what I appreciate of love is not saying that a white woman couldn't do it. It's just not what I'm fond of. I'm really, when it comes to relationship, that's not in a racist stance at all, but I really feel like that I am here for a black woman. It's not a white lady or anybody else of any other ethnicity. And I just really feel like that we should procreate within our own race, just because if you just kind of turn on the TV, you see a lot of different things that are put against us. I think it makes us stronger and better to really build that village. And that's really my take on it. So previously it wasn't an issue, but as I got older and learned more about myself, I appreciate seeing Black love because I see how it's not as celebrated as it should be. And it seems that, like you said, with the conversation with interracial dating, a lot of people give this more attention than the Black couple that's been together for 50, 60, 70 years. So that's my thoughts.
As for me, I don't care who you with, who you date, who you poke, who you sleep with, who you love, honestly, or who you go into a business agreement with. But as for me personally, I wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was raised in a household where I was told, one, I couldn't bring home a white girl, but two, there's just nothing more beautiful on this planet than a Black woman. Like, I don't see how anybody could say different. But again, I know to each his own, whatever floats your boat. But to me, there's just nothing. So I can't even see how some people make that choice as a personal choice. Now I get you love who you love, you're around who you're around. So if you're exposed to certain things, because again, I can't understand the concept of, your parents did better. They tried to give you the best of their life. So they moved you to the suburbs. You're around more white people and all of this other stuff or whatever. So you're going to end up seeing more white boys trying to holler at you if you're a black queen, or you're gonna see more white girls around because there ain't too many black kids in your school if you're a king or whatever the case may be. So you might end up falling in love with somebody of the opposite race or a different race or whatever the case may be. So I can totally understand that. But just as for me, I just don't think there's another creature on this earth more beautiful than a black woman, another specimen on this earth more. Mm, I mean, there's so many things I could say about a black woman. And then on to the point that Rose touched on as far as, protecting the black race and everything in the black community and promoting black love. Not until recent did I get to that point to where it was like, okay, black love is sacred. Black family is sacred. The sanctity and the wholeness of it and the procreation, but also trying to keep black as possible is sacred because one, we are the minority, at least in this country, but we are the minority. But two, we are disproportionately murdered, taken away, locked up, so then it makes it harder for us to continue procreating black life. And I'm just talking about in this country, but even in other countries, there's still a lot of racism and a lot of hate towards, melanated people. I can't call them black at that point because, they have an actual nationality or whatever that they could call on. So depends on what country they from or whatnot. But uh, anybody who has brown or black pigmentation, uh, they're still at a disproportionate or unfair rate of, you know, racism, systemic stuff, you know, uh, prejudices, stereotypes, or whatever the case may be. And so that makes it that more important to protect the sanctity of procreating black and black love. So that's how I feel or what I would say about it.
Um, I'm just to piggyback on you, Spears. I'm like you. I really don't care who you mess with, who you fell in love with, who you digging with. I do feel like black men get a bad case of it because it's put on the front line because all of our like sports players, basketball, NBA players, football players, professional sports coaches, like they kind of put on the front line, and most of the time you see them with a white woman, but in actuality, about 85, 90% of men are with black women. You just so happen to see that on TV because they get the interview, they get the commercials, they get the TV shows and stuff like that. Me personally, I'm married to a black woman, to a black queen, um, and and it's the reason why. Like for situations like this that's going on within the community now, what's going on with black men and stuff like that. I don't know if I can have a real conversation with somebody who's never been through this type of situation. I don't have that fear of this particularly happening to them, or never been through, being harassed by the police for no reason, and they don't might not understand it. I'm just using this as an example, but it's a whole lot of other situations out there as well, and they might say something slick, and then I gotta look at them with a side eye, like, "Hey, man," and then they get to burning me up and get me thinking, man, maybe maybe this ain't working, or maybe you know. And I ain't saying somebody always got to agree with me, but sometimes you just don't know where that interpretation might come from. You as you get to know a person, you know somewhat of how they was raised, but you won't always know 100% how they was raised. So you don't know what's going on with that. No, I just love my black women. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I always refer back to Keisha on belly being oiled up, man. It just and the black light being on. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, shoot, you got your black queen. You put that daggone baby oil on, bro. Hey, man, and she all glistening. Hey, bro, just do something to you, boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Here's my thing. Like, I know it draws a lot of attention, and I don't even necessarily think that it's about the skin. Like when you talk about like having that conversation, it's just culturally, we have a very strong culture, and just a lot of people just don't understand it. So if you can't really have that conversation comfortably, then I really can't love you. So it doesn't matter your skin, but if you just can't, you don't understand me.
Right.
There's really not any way that you could. I don't know what your second question was, but I did have something that came to mind. So do you all think that, because I was even told by someone very close to me that I bet not never bring a white woman to her house. So I never did it. I brought her to her driveway. However, she never came in the house, but I definitely brought her in the driveway. And she said, boy, if you ever. But she had to be a little bit open about it because I'm 10 years removed from the uncle, right? But just the fact that I even had enough audacity to bring her to the driveway, and I told her once we talked on the phone, I was like, so-and-so, you know that since you said never do it, that made me want to. So do you all think that that kind of really led the charge behind people feeling so passionate about it, or people wanting to try interracial dating? Because a lot of us were brought up in environments or a culture that said, don't go outside of your race.
I was told she can't use my hot comb, don't bring her home. But I didn't ever look at it as that my mother being racist or anything like that. It was just basically I understood where she was coming from when I got 7 aunts that are going through a struggle or whatnot, and all of them are not married. And it's like, hey, we love black men. We don't want anything to happen to them. We don't trust, because they grew up in the era of where we seen white women turn on the black man that they was dating. You know, my mom was born in the 50s. I'm dating myself. Sorry, mama, but it is what it is. But it's like, she was born in the 60s. My bad. She born in the 60s. But before that, and you grew up in an era that basically these white women sneaking out to be with black men, and then when they get caught up, all of a sudden screaming rape, this, that, and the other, or he was harassing me, or he did this to me, and the black man going down, getting killed, going to jail, or whatever the situation is, because they don't want to shame their families because they family racist from being with a black man. We know the whole story about Emmett Till and how that happened. So when you see those situations grow up, it's not that they racist, it's just they have a fear that, yeah, this woman say she love you now, but when the shit hit the fan, what's gonna be said? When I've heard that a lot. When all right, it's cool now, she cool, but when daddy find out, when uncle find out, when big brother find out, what it's gonna be? Now we're gonna have to bring the whole family down there, and we're gonna be fighting with a whole bunch of white folks because you want to dip your dick in her. You know what I'm saying? So I took it as more of like a protection as you sit back and listen. When you got that many aunties and you got a mom, you sit back and listen to them talk, and you hear them type of stories of somebody they went to school with and this happened, and undercover racists within your town and this, that, and the other. I just looked at kind of protection type of thing. It never did really strike me as, that's the reason why I'm not gonna date outside my race. But I was just where I lived at, those are the people I was around all day long, except for when I went to school. But when school was out summertime, I might not see a white person until football camp or baseball is going on. And it's just not see them, but in my neighborhood, I'm not gonna see any white people. I might go to the store and see one. But if it's a day I ain't go to the store and I'm just in my neighborhood for them 3-4 days, I ain't see a white person. So them the people I was around all the time. I guess white people that I'm, cool with, so it's nothing like that. It was just who I was around.
Gotcha. What's your thoughts, Spirit?
For me, I'm gonna go a little bit different from where Flake went. I'm gonna go kind of what you said. When you're told you can't have something for so long, or that it's out your reach or whatever, as soon as you can, you be rebellious and you try to get what you never could have. So I feel like some people have deliberately went against the grain because they was told that they couldn't have it, or to laugh in the faces of the so-called people who said you would never, and quotations, be able to date my daughter, or you're not worthy enough, or my daughter or my child would never be with a black person, or all of this other stuff, whether it was the grandparents thought this way, but now their grandchildren or in interracial relationships or whatever the case may be. And so it's like a ha ha jokes on you type stuff versus, a real, and I'm not gonna say that they don't love them or that they can't fall in love, but their initial thing for going after somebody of the of a different race wasn't because, oh, they just wanted to be with somebody of a different race. It was because, oh, you told me I could never. And then, of course, eventually I would say that they fell in love or true feelings came or whatever. I would hope so, at least. And that's what matriculated their relationship and how it grew and kept going. But I think that has a lot to do with it. But then also, to go back on something that both of y'all mentioned, I think part of the reason why there is so much of a backlash, at least for a black man, is because our women outnumber us. I want to say 4 to 5 to 1 or something like that. So of course it's going to be more of them who are single or not with black men just because of the numbers, just because of a straight arithmetic. And then when you add in the stuff that I mentioned earlier, we hauled off to jail, we murdered, or whatever the case may be. We put ourselves in certain situations where we rush into something and then don't want to be with that, or whatever the case may be. We do some things. Sometimes it's self-inflicted. A lot of times it's, system, judicial, structurally inflicted. And so I feel like sometimes our women don't give us the benefit of the doubt because they don't take it to the account that they outnumber us by a whole lot. And then also the other effects that come into the lives of being black in America. And then also it's like Flake said, when you do see that athlete or that entertainer or whatever, it pisses you off with the regular people that you see on a regular day. You don't know no athlete or no entertainer that's making millions of dollars, but as soon as you see your brother with a Mexican white girl or whatever, you mad at him and pissed off. As soon as you see a guy that you thought was cute and you wanted to holler at, or somebody of the opposite sex, you pissed off just because you seen that entertainer or whatever, and you thinking, these niggas, I know we ain't supposed to say the word, but these guys ain't shit and everything, and like, why they got to be this and then all of that stuff. But again, I just sometimes think that we're not logical about the numbers and taking everything into perspective when it comes to interracial dating.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask that question, because I've noticed that a lot, and I think it's just people miss the logic part of it. I think that's a very key call out, because what I've noticed is that while we shame the black man for having somebody outside of his race, I think that, and I've shared this with my homegirls, I feel that it's celebrated more if a black woman that they consider as like an idol, somebody they look up to, steps out and comes with a white guy. One that I recently noticed was Ashanti. She has a white man. I never even knew that. My homegirl that called to tell me, she was like, "What's your thoughts on this?" And
hold on, I'm gonna stop you on that one.
Yeah.
Ashanti came out and said that's false. That ain't her dude.
Oh, that's not a dude? Oh, okay.
Yeah, she came out. She came out today. It was like that's false. They her dude. It was just somebody. They was at some event and she took a picture with.
Oh, okay. Because my homegirl show called me. She was like, your girl Ashanti got a brother. I'm like, what brother? So she sent me the picture. I said, "Oh, so you being petty because she got a white boy." You feel me? So okay, but to the point, it's like I still think that. Well, why are we judging her? And I was like, I really wish people would either be on one side of the fence. Either you're for it and allow people to love who they love, but don't critique one sex because they do it, and then it's celebrated if a woman does or if a man does. Like, pick your side and just say either love who you love or don't celebrate it at all. Like, you can't pick and choose. Well, she had her right. We ain't shit. Blah blah. Whatever. stay on one side. So I think that's where it comes a lot. It's a lot of biasness, but it's really because how we was raised.
But even though Ashanti don't, but Serena Williams, she got her white dude.
Hurts my heart. I didn't want to bring that up, brother.
Yeah, it did. I ain't gonna lie. When I be seeing black women with white dudes, I be like, how we let her get away? This thing was like, how we let her get away? Like,
I'm like, and y'all successful. So y'all around other brothers actually got some bread. Like they that lame that you went and got Billy. I'm like, how? Like who was shooting at her that wasn't? You had to be ain't shit on a very high level to have bread and still not be able to bag them, bro. Like,
yeah, Eve got her. I think he a billionaire dude. She stay in England now or something like that.
Don't blame Eve at all, though. Get that bread.
No, but well, Serena got like a billionaire too. But
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But for Serena, we got to blame Drake.
But does he even count in our?
Does
he really count?
Falling in love with them strippers.
Yeah, Drake might have messed it up.
I don't put Drake in any ethnicity. I think Drake is just Drake. He's his own everything. Like I can't consider him a brother. Like I just can't. Like
we ain't gonna do Drake like that.
He ain't the white boy. Yeah, he ain't the white boy, but he, I don't see Drake as being one of us. Like I don't know. He's Canadian, so they a little different. That's it.
Tell you what, somebody come with Drake touched me during the massage, and we see how black he is real fast. Don't you?
Oh yeah. He might well go on to get waves and gold teeth if that happened.
Right. But I'm glad that we brought up the social status of some of these people being millionaires or billionaires and being professionals in interracial dating. Now, it was kind of brought to my attention that some people don't like it, not because we need to have black with black and white with white or whatever, but they put it more like marriage is a business aspect. So when you marry an outside of your race, especially when a black man marry outside his race, and women tend to live longer than men altogether. That's just science. All women seem to live longer than men. When you pass away and you leave your money, whether it be your life insurance, whether it be whatever money you have saved up, your stocks, your bonds, this, that, and the other. When let's say somebody of another race is going to inherit that, and who are they going to take care of? They going to take care of their cousin, or if their mom is still living, or their side of the family. Of course, they're not going to leave your kids out. They take care of your kids, but mainly they got more of attachment to their side of the family. So your riches and royalties might be rolling over to that instead of that black dollar staying within the black community and generating with the black people and other black families. So I wanted to bring that up and see what you guys' thoughts was on that as well. Have y'all ever thought about that aspect of it? Like, yeah, they do love me, but when I'm gone, Tiffany and Brittany might not be as close to my sister and my mom and that side of the family. She got close ties to her side, and they gonna benefit of the money that the $1 million life insurance plan that I left behind.
If we being all the way honest, like, let me be real with you. You can leave it back with somebody of the opposite race and they support their racist uncles and aunts, or you can leave it to somebody in your race and they support their ain't shit cousins that got blocks and bricks in the city and choppers and gang and they rap career. You just never know. At the end of the day, you love them. You move forward with it. Once you gone, I ain't never seen no Brinks truck behind no hearse, so it is what it is, bro. Honestly, I couldn't even look at. I know it's a business when you think about it from like a moral and ethics and what do we have, just like compatibility. But if I'm thinking about all that before I marry you, I probably don't need to marry you because I'm looking at it too much of a business and not that I'm actually in love with this person. So I think it's a great idea, but I wouldn't look at it like that. You can't win with that. Ain't shit you can do about it anyway at the end.
I agree with Rose. The concept sounds good. Like it's a good concept. And again, because I listened to the Umar interview on Breakfast Club, so it was funny when he was like, "I never heard nobody go in the court and say I want my 20 years of love back. Like, what happened to all this love I done gave you? Like, give me my love back." They asking for dollars.
Bruh,
They
I
asking for house.
died laughing.
Yeah. They asking for the house. They asking for your 401k or your savings or whatever the case may be. So I get that as well. I get that aspect, but again, I don't think, and maybe that is something that people need to start going into relationships thinking. But I don't think nobody goes into a relationship thinking, oh, what this person gonna do with the money anyway. And then on the flip side of that is, if you got a will, you dictate what happens to your money. So regardless of if your white wife wants to take care of her family, if your will say this money go to A, B, C, and D, your white wife can't do nothing with that money for her family. So that's the importance of education and knowledge, because again, at the end of the day, you could protect yourself from something like that. So that's why I say it's a good concept. But if you think logically, you could set up ways to prevent that and still want to love, whether it be white, black, brown, purple, pink, or yellow, and be good. So the concept, kind of makes sense, but also the concept is a little divisive in its own right, because again, if you smart and you do have money, then you should know that you need a will or a trust to protect your assets if you do pass, and dictate where that money goes and who it goes to.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Shout out to a friend of the show, Tiffany. When we had our previous episode about talking about life insurance to make sure we get a will. If you hadn't went that far, please go back and check out that episode. There's a lot of gems dropped in that. But yeah, Spirits, you're 100% right. If you got a will, if you got all your ducks in a row, then you don't have to worry about that at all. Um, and I agree with D Rose as well. When I got married, I wasn't thinking about it as a business aspect. As you, once you get married and you in it, then you realize how much of a business it is. But if that's your initial thought, yeah, you probably shouldn't be marrying that person anyway. Uh, Especially if you wondering when I'm gone how they gonna take care of everybody else in my family, this and the other, and I don't think I can trust them into doing the right thing for me. One thing for sure, if that person is 10 toes down with you, then they ought to be 10 toes down with your cause. They ought to be 10 toes down with your side of the family, this, that, and the other, and making sure that everybody's taken care of if they need something. If you leave that lump sum of money or a lump sum of assets behind to be able to take care of it. The only thing that kind of scared me is the not too long ago when we seen the white woman calling their work a nigga, and she's sitting there with her two black babies sitting there. So that's the only thing that kind of scares you. But those are one offs. You know what I'm saying? She's probably one of them girls that her dad and them told her she can't mess with black dudes, and she was like, "Well, I'm gonna creep over and see why they say I can't," and end up getting pregnant. So she wasn't true, and she ain't for us anyway. So it ain't too many of them out there anyway. So I have to worry about that. My next question with this is if a if a black person is married to a different race, can they be 100% down for the cause? As that question does come up from time to time, is if you're 100% down for black people, then you would have married a black woman or a black man. So, what are y'all thoughts on that? Can you be married to the opposite race and still be 100% 10 toes down for your race and your cause and what we going through?
I would like to hear Brother Red first on this one. I'm gonna take the back seat on this and see what Brother Red got for us.
I honestly, I really don't know. I can't say, because the thing is, like, my cousin Larry, the mayor, I know he's for black people, but he's married to a white woman. I got another cousin, one of my closest cousins, he's married to a white woman. And so, but I know they about that action and about that work too. But I just, I really can't say, like, because it's just, especially when it's in your family and it's firsthand, and you see it and you know that they really love who they married to and who they love, and they're they married them because of love. But then when you are saying that you are for Black people and you're for the cause, then did you pick and choose what causes you are for and what causes you're not for by marrying outside your race? And so that's the question that I possibly can't answer, because I would need to actually hear it from somebody who is married to somebody outside of their race. So the answer won't be biased and just to my logic and my understanding. And maybe they can educate me on something, or they can make me stand firm in my thought process and saying, oh, okay, well, maybe you can't. And so I really can't say yes, definitely, and I really can't say no, definitely. For me, as of right now, I can't.
I'll say this. I think you love who you love, and I know I've stated it a few times, but I don't necessarily. It would be hard for people to accept it just based off of you being solely, um, pro-Black. But again, you can't really help who you love, and it just never knows how it may hit you. That could be God using you as a way to show the world that, hey, you can still support your people, but you chose love for whatever ethnicity, and that's kind of, I think, is what separates the color from anything. But I have two brothers of mine that actually date white women specifically, and I've never really even seen them date anyone else. And one of them is just extremely, extremely pro-Black, and we've had this conversation about, like, so what's your take when it's like those difficult conversations or situations to where you understand that there is two sides of the fence, even though this is the person that you choose to love. So even though she may support you, does it not become difficult? And so, like, to kind of Chris's point, I can't really answer it because I'm not in that particular situation. But I do think that people would judge it, but they judge anything. So there's never like 100% right. And I don't think anybody's 100% pro-Black, no matter how supportive you are of the community, because at the end of the day, you're still going to have to deal with other individuals until we have every single system that's for us, by us, operated by us, and for you to just say that you're cutting off any other particular race. So I don't know, man. I think that's something I would really have to sleep on. I couldn't judge them, either the brother or sister that decided to cross it, but I could see where people are coming from both sides. But I am lucky enough to have a few that's in my corner that, even though I give them hell at any chance I get, and they know that, I still know where their heart is, and it's ultimately to push our culture and community forward.
Let me ask y'all this question. I'm gonna answer my own question. It was rumors, and I seen on a little documentary some time ago that Dr. Martin Luther King used to be in love with a white woman. If somehow him and Coretta never got married, he ended up being a white woman, do y'all think MLK would be MLK that we think of and love today if he had a white woman on the other side of him? Take your time. Take your time. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let y'all think on that.
Because what I want to say, people gonna think like, man, you got to really know D-Rose to take this one. But I'm gonna say this: if he would have had a white woman, I don't think he would have got assassinated, bro. I really don't. I don't.
You know what?
He would have.
I don't disagree with you, and the reason why I don't, because I can't remember Harry Belafonte. He married a white woman, and his thing was, during that time, I knew she can get me in places I couldn't get on my own. So I'm not gonna disagree with that. I'm not, and he just straight out said it. He was like, I love her, but the main reason was so I can get my pro-Blackness and my thoughts on views in the places that me by myself couldn't get. And Spears, what's your thought on that?
I My first initial thought was what Rose said. I think if he was with a white woman, he wouldn't have got assassinated. But then I thought if he was with a white woman, he would have got assassinated sooner. So, but Do I believe that he would still be who he was, or
Not who he was, will he still be looked the same? MLK with the
yeah,
statue in Washington
that's what I
D.C.
mean, who he was, like
Oh, okay, okay,
he's because of how he's looked, that makes him who he is.
yeah,
I would say yes, and the reason why I say that is because when you think about it, like you said, Harry Belafonte, and he was one of them man back in them days and everything, and he was a pioneer. Then you think about uh James Baldwin, and he didn't. I think he might have dated some white women, but just to for a cover before he came out that he was bisexual or gay or whatever the case may be. But because of his lifestyle and because of back then when he came out with it, that was that wasn't the thing back then. And so for him to walk in his truth and him still to be who he is today, and then everything. So I think he still would be Martin, the Martin that we know him as still if he was with the white women, just because of what he stood for in his words. But I do think that there will be more, as Rose put it, more hate or vitriol or people slandering him just because that's what people do. So people gonna talk. And so I do think it would be more of that. But again, you still can't take away the work. And so I still think he would be Martin.
okay. Yeah, I think he'll still be looked at as the same. Uh, but of course, there's gonna be a little bit more daggers thrown his way. There's gonna be some hate thrown his way. It's kind of iffy. We don't know. I can see both sides of that. Him being assassinated even quicker. I can see him not being assassinated. And one part of my mind say it'd been a perfect. It would kind of been a perfect setup for what he was going for and bringing everybody together as one and loving each other. If it was that way, um, but nobody can replace Miss the Queen Coretta Scott because she was a key piece and needed to be who we had on the side to be able to accomplish all the things that he needed to get done. My thoughts on if you can be as pro black, I think you can, but it's gonna take a very, very strong black man to be like, what I'm about to say probably gonna hurt your feelings to my wife, but or husband, but it is what it is, and hey, your feelings are gonna have to be hurt if you can't take it. That's the front door. But I'm not gonna tune down who I am uh, before your feelings because my people, because I'm gonna live for the people, and when I die, I'm gonna die for the people. But I think you'll be able to do so. But I think for the ones who ride, it's something out there to ride the fence. I believe that try to pretend to be as pro black and not be as pro black, kind of have with certain subjects come up because of who they might be married to or affiliated with. And I think you basically cheating yourself in situations like that. Uh, you need to just come out and be who you are at all times. But
And and I was just gonna say, and to what Rose said earlier too, is like it if you want to call yourself pro black, then don't take no money from anything that's not black. Don't take a donation, a dollar, a paycheck, don't go on a radio show that's not owned by black. Don't go on a TV station that's not owned by black. Like if that's what you're truly like preaching and then saying, oh, because somebody's married to somebody, well then if you on this white radio station or if you taking donations from this white person, then can you truly be pro-black? So I mean, it works both ways. So that's why you got to be careful because it's a double-edged sword. That's why you got to be careful of what you say and who you talk down on because people can do their research and figure out where you getting all your ducats from and where you doing all your stuff from. I mean, and who's your PR, your publicist, your manager, all this other stuff. Are they all black? Are you employing only black? Are you only getting dollars from the black community? Are you only doing this? And then it's like, well damn, are you really pro black? And so you gotta be careful.
Is that a shot at somebody?
Now it's not a shot at nobody. I'm just saying. I'm just saying,
No,
like, you gotta
yeah,
be.
I definitely feel what you're saying.
yeah, because
Lamar Johnson better not be taking money from no other white. Better not be taking money from no other color.
yeah, and I think that thought or that ideology is like that's foolish for you to ever think that depending on any group or ethnicity is going to be enough to support you. Like, why would you? Why would that even be? You know, your thought process. So, I mean, I get it, but you could be 100% pro-black. But I think when people are so intentional about it being love, just truthfully say that you're probably just not where you want to be in your love life, and you hate that somebody that you may have been interested in on either side chose outside of their race before you get into the specifics, because somebody could really grill you, like Chris saying, and get all the way down to how you getting your money, and you not so pro-black after you think about it. Like, not at all, because you at Starbucks line every day with your budget card and everything. Like, you got a whole little setup, so it's like, ain't no black people to make coffee since we so pro-black. Like, let's get specific with it. You don't go to your local grocery store, but you turn down Target and arguing with them for not having more than 2 lines open. So it's like, yeah, you could, you know, it's a lot of little stuff we could be nitpicky, but at the end of the day, when it comes to love, man, you love who you love, but be careful how judgmental you are, because you write down them facts, and when we get to checking it out, you may be 80% pro-white.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know no black company that got life insurance policies. That's writing them life insurance policies.
Yeah. Know some individual contributors. I don't know if no major company that I'll have to research that now that you said that. I'm gonna have to write that down. Because I do want to know. Yeah, I know it's some, but I don't know, you know, they not just out here like that. That's a good one though.
Yeah.
I'm about to holler at Tiffany about that. I'm pretty sure she.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you know she know.
Yeah.
You know she know. Well, fellas, let's go ahead and get to wrapping it up. We have a Black Business Minute this week.
We do. But what's the consensus? Is it you free to love who you love? Or are we saying stay black of the berry, sweet of the juice?
You free to love who you love. My opinion, you free to love who you love. And only people I got an issue with is the ones who are hell bent on only dating. Like, I know some black men that they be like hell bent that I'm only dating white women. I'm only dating Hispanic women, and that's it. And they reasons be like, and I've asked a couple, and when I ain't gonna lie, I made a post on Facebook a long time ago, and wasn't too many people just in my inbox just telling me their stories, but they'll say it face to face, but they won't put it in right. So it made me feel like you a little bit ashamed of how you feel, even though I won't even bring their name into it. I just want to know their thoughts. But I had people I know tell me, the one-on-one conversation, like, me and just black women just don't get along. I'm like, how is it possible? Because you grew up around black women like majority of your life. Like, you and black women do get along. I just feel like you might be a little insecure. I can't get what you want out of them. So you decide, you know how to play a Pacific race and get something out of them a little quicker than a black woman gonna make you go out there and earn it. So
Yeah.
them
Check.
the only people I got problems with.
Yeah, I feel you, Flake, because I like I was telling people, especially kids that like myself that grew up with just a single parent, and if you had a little sister, the mom baby the brother. The sister was held at a higher standard because the mama did not want her to repeat any cycle that she had. So when it comes down to a strong black woman is going to check you at the door on your BS. So I've heard the examples, and I've heard white dudes say they just strictly white girls or any other race. And I'm gonna tell you this, ladies, y'all keep doing what y'all doing and don't switch up nothing, especially for them kind, like, cause they ain't trying to do nothing anyway. So keep your stronghold on that. But I'm gonna say this love who you love, but it's still black and berry sweet as you.
And I'm gonna say, my one issue is the people who be like, especially the them N-words who be like, I can't deal with that attitude. Like, I can't deal with a black woman attitude. My N-word, you soft as hell. And that's how it's down. You soft as hell, and you I'm gonna call you Charmin. But so those are the ones I have a problem with. But I am all for love who you love, but except for you N-words who think like that, got that ideology, nah, you need to just kill yourself.
Hey, you know what's funny? They be saying shit in the females they talking about. That's what be so funny. I'm like, you sure as hell, my dude? All right, sure. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Most
I'm
time they catch an attitude to make you better. They disappointed in you for doing something. They trying to make you better, but you taking theirs. She nag. Now there's some women out there nag, but most of the time it's because they disappointed in something you did and you should know better, and they trying to get you to do better instead of just letting somebody let you run wild and let you be a crash test dummy out here and scared to check you off.
Yep.
yeah. But I'm with you, Rose. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing better than ooh, a black queen. That's all I can say. Ain't nothing better.
With some baby oil, some
Nah,
oiled up, some
you gotta
lotion.
you gotta come up with the times, Flake. They ain't putting baby oil no more. It's that coconut oil. Coconut
I
oil.
don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I just know it be shining and looking awesome. That's all I know. I don't know, man. My wife got so many products in there. I don't know what the hell all that is in
Yeah.
there.
Might want you to rub a little shea butter on if you got the right sister. Ain't no telling.
Oh man, I need the African Street Fest come back so I can give me some that good old African shea butter. Boy, that junk that be hitting. Woo.
All right, so for the Black Business Minute, we have Fruits and Roots. So Fruits and Roots is a company that ships out fruits. Uh, I want to. Well, I know that they ship their fruits from Africa or whatever, so you could get all type of fruits. They got fruits that I ain't never heard of. That they have a Facebook, Instagram page called Fruits and Roots, but then they also got a website, fruitsandroots.com, and it's roots with a Z, so not the S. But when I tell you some of them fruits be looking so succulent and juicy and like good, I'm telling you they be looking good and succulent. I'm gonna read you a little bit of their story because it's a little long, so I'm gonna just read a little bit just to let y'all know a little bit about them and why they started and where they derive from. So everything has a beginning, whether fruits or humans. Where we come from and our foundation is important. Every fruit starts at the root. The knowledge we learned growing up versus the knowledge we are acquiring now has really opened our eyes to what our purpose is here on earth. Although there are many divisions in many different countries, we all are one race, the human race. We tend to forget, be it from being blinded by poor eating habits and materialistic things, that we all have a higher purpose. Our team's mission is to spread knowledge on healing and well being through the variety of fruits and roots that we offer. We learned over time the importance that what we consume, whether it be what we eat, what we hear and see, has essentially helps us be the truest and purest version of ourselves. When we intake high vibrational energy, there is a reciprocation of what, dang, that's, I hate when they do typos in their thing. Reciprocation of what we then output from our minds. We are continuously and consistently creating who we are day by day. So that's Fruits and Roots. And so you can find them on Instagram at Fruits and Roots. You can find them, go to their website, fruitsandroots.com. I'm pretty sure they have a Facebook, but I'm not for sure. And again, like I said, some of them fruits, they be having the best looking watermelon. And you know, they watermelon got seeds in it. So it's the real watermelon. They be having the best looking. Shoot, they be having again a lot of the fruits I never heard of. They be having the best looking mangoes, everything though, and they sell boxes. So I think they started boxes like $80, and you get like I want to say 5 pounds of fruit, and then they go up from there or whatnot. And again, it's from Africa. So fruits and roots. That's our Black Business Minute.
Awesome. Awesome. Um, our Supreme Black Person of the Week goes to a person that I don't, for some reason, I just don't see hear his name called as much as I think he should for the work he's done, and that's Mr. Carnell West, um, Professor Carnell West. That is. Um, he grew up. He was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. back in 1953. His education is Harvard University and Princeton University, where he got his PhD. Um, Institutions he has worked at. He has worked at Yale University. He has worked at Harvard University. He has worked at Princeton University. He has worked at Dartmouth College as well. He's also worked at Union Theological Seminary School. Mr. Cornell West is a great person that has been down for the cause and pro-black from the beginning. He's one of the old school cats that goes back a long way. He doesn't hold back his tongue on anything. So if you feel like you're wrong, he gonna let you know. Feel like you're right, he gonna celebrate you as well. He has been seen in some of my favorite, a couple of my favorite movies. The Matrix series. He has been seen in those movies as well. He's also been in Street Fight, Examine Life. He's also had a plethora of books that he's put out. I'm not gonna go through all these books, but it is a lot. He got The War Against Parents, what we can do for America's moms and dads. He has the African American Century book he has as well that came out in 2000. Um, he has a book Brother West, Living and Loving Out Loud, that he put it back in 2019. He also has a Words and Wisdom book as well. So shout out to the brother, Mr. Cornell West. Uh, Somebody we need to definitely give him his roses where he can still smell them. Because this man has been a great man within the Black community and has broke a lot of barriers, especially within the education realm, with the things he's done.
Shout out to the brother, Mr. West, man. That's dope. That's dope. I checked out their page too, Chris, with the what is it, Fruits and Roots. That's dope too. So shout out to the Black Business Minute and the Supreme Black Person of the Week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, well, with that being said, for all my queens out there, put your crown on, tilt that thing to the side, let them know you are a queen. For all my kings out there, put your crown on, tilt that thing to the side, let them know you are a king. And we are supremely black, and we out.